Hi, so buddies, welcome back again to this YouTube channel. It with me, Hiwa here. And if this is your first time here, you're highly welcome. Please do well to hit on the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop a new video. In this video, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful circle dress that has this beautiful straps that you can tie around the shoulder or on the shoulder. And I also went ahead to spice it up with beads and also Ankara gathers, which is very optional, so we'll just dive right into the tutorial. Yeah, some of the items I'm making use of. I'm making use of this material. It's a crepe material and it's about 2.5 yards. Yes, you can actually use any other fabric of your choice, but for me, I'm making use of this crepe material, and you can see it's a bit stretchy. But if you want to get yours, make sure it's not stretchy. Yes, you don't need a stretchy fabric for this. And also, I'll be making use of the bias. Yes, black bias that goes with the color of the fabric. Now, I'll go ahead and do a little bit of calculation to know the actual length that I'll cut for each section of the gown. You know, this dress consists of the upper part and the gather part, which is below. And for me, I want the full length of this dress to be 37 inches. That is how long I want it to be. And for the gathers, I want it to be 6 inches long. So to get the upper part, I will subtract the gathers from the full length of the dress. So 37 minus 6 inches will give me 31 inches. So this is how long the upper part of the dress will be. So when I combine the upper part to the gathers, which is 6 inches, it's going to give me the full length of the dress. And to get the length of the fabric after folding, I'll just add 9 inches to this 31 inches, and it's going to give me 40 inches. So this is the length I should have after folding the fabric. And these are the measurements required for making this dress. Moving on, it's time to fold this fabric, and it's quite different from the normal way we get to fold our fabric when cutting out the dress. So firstly, we're going to fold our fabric into two. So I folded mine into two equal parts, as you can see. Then I'll move to one of the edge of the fabric, which is here, and I'll fold it over again like this, and this will give me the triangular shape. So I'm just going to repeat this again. So after folding the fabric into two, you move to one edge of the fabric here, and then you fold the fabric over again into two to give you a triangular shape. And this is a triangular shape that I have. And I'll go ahead and measure the length of this fold, and here you can see I have 41 inches and I calculated for 40 inches, so just 1 inch extra. And for the foldings, you can see that it is 4 folds, 1 2 3 4. Can you see that? So you end up having 4 fabrics folded together. So right now, just go ahead and bring in my pins and use it to hold my fabric in place because it is quite slippery. It's a soft crepe. Yeah, you can use any the thick crepe or the soft crepe, but for me, I made use of the soft crepe. And this side of the folds where there is no opening will serve as my center front and center back because I am cutting both the front and the back patterns together. So I'm going to use a piece of paper to illustrate the folding again in case you didn't get it the first time. So let's assume this is a fabric, so you can fold it into two like this, or you can also fold it into two like this. That's the first step, folding it into two. Then you move to one edge of the fabric and you fold it over again like this to give you the triangular shape. Are you seeing it? So you can move to any edge of the fabric. So you can see I moved to this edge and I fold it over again to give me a triangular shape. And so buddies, this is how to fold the fabric to get a circle dress. So right now it's time to start marking out the measurement. So I'll go ahead and bring in my tape and mark out. And the first measurement to mark out is the round bust measurement divided by 4. And my round bust measurement is 38 inches divided by 4 gives me 9.5. So I'll go ahead and locate 9.5 on my fabric starting from this pointed part of the fabric. So this is where 9.5 is, and I'll mark out a straight line. Now if your fabric is not stretchy, you can go ahead and add half an inch for sewing allowance, but because my fabric is a bit stretchy, then there will be no need for doing that. So after marking this out, the next step, from this center front or center back, I will go in by 5 inches. So I'll go in by 5 inches. Now the reason for going in by 5 inches is so that the strap that will be on this dress can cover the bra strap. You know, from one bra strap to the other bra strap is 10 inches divided by 2 gives me 5 inches, so that's why I also went in by 5 inches. But if you don't want the putting on of bra on the dress, you can go ahead and just ignore this rule and subtract 2.5 inches from half of your shoulder measurement and mark it out on the straight line. Now on this 5 inches mark, I'll go up by 4 inches. You can decide to go up by 5 inches or 3 inches, depending on how high you want your off shoulder to be. But for me, I went up by 4 inches and I've connected the 4 inches back to the 5 inches mark to get a straight line. Now on the center front or center back, I'll go up by 2 inches. Now you can also decide to go up by 1 inches, but 1 inches should be the least you will go up with, you get. And I will connect this 4 inches mark to the 2 inches mark that I went up with at the center front, and it's going to give me this curve. Next, I'm going to connect this 4 inches mark to the side here to get the armhole curve. So I'll go ahead and bring in my curve rule to connect. You can also use your hands to do this as well, to just connect and get the curve. So take note that this straight line is the chest line. Moving on, it's time to mark out the length of the upper part of this gown, which was 31 inches. That's what I calculated earlier on. So in marking it out, I'm going to place my armhole depth on the chest line. And to calculate for your armhole depth, you divide your round bust measurement by 6 plus 1.5. So since my round bust measurement is 38, divided by 6 plus 1.5 gives me 7.8. So you can see on the chest line I placed 7.8 there, and I'll go ahead and start marking out my 31 inches, which is the length for the upper part of this gown. And as you can see, I added half an inch while marking out the 31 inches. So I'm marking out 31.5 inches. The half an inch is for joining the gathers to this upper part of the dress. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. And I also go ahead and cut out this neckline and cut out the armhole, and I will open up the side as well. So this is what I have. Moving on, I will go ahead and separate the back pattern from the front pattern so that we can get to focus on one. And take note that whatever I'm doing to the front fabric is what I will also do to the back fabric. So right now I have separated them, and this is the front pattern or fabric. So moving on, it's time to go ahead and sew in or cut out the fabric for the gathers or pleating, whichever you want. Now to cut it out, we have to measure the hem from one side to the other. So I'll go ahead and measure the hem from one side to the other. And if it is gathers that you want at this down part, then whatever you get after measuring from one side to the other, you multiply it by 3 and use it to cut out the fabric. Now if it is pleating like me, I'll just go ahead and add 12 inches to this 59 inches that I just measured out to cut out my fabric. So 59 plus 12 inches will give me 71 inches. I hope you understand. But if it is gathers that you want to make at this down part, then multiply whatever you get after measuring from one side to the other by 3, and you use that measurement to cut out the length of the fabric. So this is the fabrics I have cut out for both the front and the back, and I'm just going to open it up and take the measurement so you get to see it. This is it. You can see it is quite very long, and for the length, you remember that I said the length of this gather is going to be 6 inches. So I added 1.5 inches to it, 1 inch for turning the hem at the down part, and half an inch at the top part for joining this piece of fabric to the upper part as well, meaning I will have 7.5 inches. That is 6 plus 1.5 gives me 7.5 inches. So as you can see, this is what I have, 7.5 inches. 1 inch is for turning the hem, half an inch is for joining to the upper part of the fabric. And for the length here, you can see that I have 71 inches. So I just added few inches to the 59 inches that I measured out earlier on, because I want pleating at this down part of the dress. So that's the same thing I also cut out for this other fabric that will be at the back pattern. And I will go ahead and turn the hems of this smaller fabric as demonstrated earlier on. So right now it's time to sew this down part to the upper part of the fabric. So I'll go ahead and bring it in, and then in placing it, I'll make sure that the right sides are facing each other like this. And like I earlier stated, if it is gathers you want at this down part, then this smaller fabric has to be 3 times bigger than the measurement you took at the hem of the upper part of this dress. So if it is gathers, you just go ahead and gather the smaller fabric like this at the hem of the upper part, and you close it up using half an inch sewing allowance. But for me, I want there to be pleatings on my own, and the pleatings will have distance from each other, and they are going to be kissing pleats. So this is how I'll go about it. I'll fold in one side and fold in another side and run a stitch on it. Then I'll leave few inches and I'll do carry out another pleating again by folding in maybe 1 inch and folding in another 1 inch and run a stitch on it. So I'll go ahead and do that and bring it back to show you what I have. So this is it. I have joined the down part to the upper part and you can see the pleating, and this type of pleating is called kissing pleats or kiss pleating, and this is it. You can see I closed it up using 1/2 inch sewing allowance here. Are you seeing it? So this is how I want mine to be. So you can decide however you want your down part to be. It can be ruffles, which is also called gathers, or it can be pleating. The pleatings can be closed or distance, whatever you want, go ahead and do it. Moving on, it's time to close up the sides. So I'll bring in the back pattern that I've also joined the smaller fabric to, and I'll go ahead and place it like this, making sure that the right sides are facing each other. And I'll go ahead and close up the sides using 1 inch sewing allowance because my fabric is quite stretchy. So if you left 1/2 inch for yours, you go ahead and close it up using 1/2 inch sewing allowance. That is if your fabric is not stretchy. So I'll go ahead and close up the sides. And to spice up mine, I went ahead to use Ankara to gather on this journey. Yes, to give it that little bit of, spiciness. So this is what I was talking about. So I just did Ankara here on the journey to do a little bit of ruffles or gathers here. Next, it's time to maintain the edges of the armhole and the neckline. So I'll be using bias for that. This is where the bias comes in. So I'll bring in the bias, which is exactly the same color as my fabric, and you can see the way the bias is. So I'll go ahead and open up one side of the bias here, and I will place it on the right side of the armhole, which is of the fabric, and I'll go ahead and stitch down on this line that is showing on the bias, round it like this. And after stitching it down, I will flip the bias to the wrong side of the fabric like this, and I'll go ahead and stitch on this edge of the bias like so. So I'll do this round the armhole, and I'm going to repeat the same thing on the necklines and also on the other side of the armhole. And after doing that, the next step will be to cut out the straps for tying on the shoulder. So I have already cut out mine, and take note that there are different ways to cut out your strap. You can make it a tiny strap, a bigger strap, a wider strap, anyone you want is okay. So for me, my straps are 15 inches long. I made them 15 inches long, and as you can see, both sides are not equal. Here I made it 1.5 inches wide. When you open it, this is what you have, and here I made it about 3.5 inches wide, and as you can see, I connected the 1.5 inches to the 3.5 inches, and at the head top part here I did a little bit of curve. That's how I want my strap to be. So you can decide whatever shape, whatever size, whatever length you want your strap to be. This is what I have, and I cut out 3 extra of this, so 2 on one side and 2 on the other side of the shoulder. So you can see they're all the same thing. So I went ahead to close up the side and also close up the upper part using 1/2 inch, as you can see, and then I'll go ahead and flip this over to the right side. So I'll go ahead and flip them over to the right side of camera, and I'll come back and show you. So this is it. The 4 straps are ready, and I've flipped them over to the right side, and I've gone ahead to also iron them out as well. So it's time to join them to the dress. So this is my dress, and as you can see, I've turned the hem of the necklines and the armhole, and you can see how neat it is looking. So in joining the strap, I'll bring in one of the strap and I'll place it like this on this pointed part, on this pointed edge, and I'll go ahead and close it up using 1/2 inch allowance. I'll also repeat the same thing here, put one strap here and also close it up, and I'll do the same thing at these other pointed parts as well. So each strap to each pointed edge, and I'll close them up using 1/2 inch allowance. So take note that I'm placing the straps on the right side of the fabric. So this is it. I have sewn the straps to it, and I also went ahead to spice up the strap with beadings at the edge. And yay, the dress is ready. So this is the beautiful circle dress with straps, tying straps precisely, and you can see how beautiful it is looking. So you can go ahead and decide to spice yours up anyhow you want to spice it up.
you can decide not to even spice it up. It's still going to look so beautiful. Yes, so if you found this video helpful and you enjoyed this video, please do it to hit on that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the notification bell. So see you on my next video. Bye. Bye.